And welcome back, everyone. Got back, saw Uncharted last night with the girlfriend, had a nice date night, came out of the movie, and it's actually a lot of fun. It's not an Uncharted movie, but it's a lot of fun. This is a weird film because it is trying to be an Uncharted film. It gives you nods to the game and tries to get the adventure aspect down, but in terms of tone and feel, it doesn't feel like that till maybe the last third where we get into the whole flying pirate ship thing. Up until then, it just kind of feels like a generic treasure hunt movie, something akin to a National Treasure. Or, it's trying to be a little Indiana Jones. Hell, there's a little Ocean's 11 in there. There's like a heist moment where they gotta steal something to help them. You see it in the trailer. They gotta steal like a golden cross or something like that. And yeah, so I'm watching it and I'm like, well, I'm having fun. There's problems, but I'm having fun. But this isn't Uncharted. Now, I didn't really play Uncharted, admittedly, but I played a little bit like during the demos and when Best Buy used to do that. You remember back in the day when GameStop and Best Buy used to still have demos like that? Now at best you can kind of play some of the Switch stuff. Those are good times. But yeah, it just tonally it's not an Uncharted game despite like the nods they have, despite the fact it's Nathan Drake and Sully. Like, it just doesn't feel that way. So taking that out of the equation, which obviously is a big tick in the okay, that's not good box. What can I say about it? Well, obviously I do have a positive opinion about it. As I said, it's a fun little movie, and I stand by it. It's a fun little movie. Tom Holland, God bless, Tom Holland's one of those guys you can kind of put in anything, and he will try to elevate the material he's given as best as he can. Because this is not a really good script. It's not a very good screenplay. The first 30 minutes or so are the first 30 minutes involving his past, meeting Sully. It is so poorly put together. It was kind of, my girlfriend put it best, it's like Sully meeting him was kind of predatory, just preying on this young kid. Like, yeah, really? He just shows up at one point and just be like, hey, you this guy? I got, you're pretty good. Yeah, I got a job for you. Huh? I know you're brother. It's like, hey, I stole that thing you stole. And it just feels choppy. I didn't buy a lot of I bought some of the chemistry between Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland, but not a lot of it. And honestly, that is not Tom Holland's fault. I honestly think, despite as much of the physicality as Tom Holland can bring in, he can bring it. I heard someone basically say, that guy's yoked, like, the guy's in shape. But despite the fact he's got the physicality, he's charming. He's likable. He can do the drama, like the emotion if he has to. When he has to. Like, despite the fact he's bringing his A game, he's got some good moments, like all that. He's doing everything he can. I think the problem is actually, at least between the two of them, is Mark Wahlberg. I don't think Mark Wahlberg is a good cast for Sully. And I don't know, again, if that's a script. Maybe a better script would have helped him out. But the character of Sully is just an asshole. He's just an asshole throughout this entire thing. And the little bit of redemption he ultimately gets doesn't feel warranted. And that's kind of throughout the entire film, where it's just except for Nathan, who's also a bit of an ass himself. It's just a bunch of asses. Just a bunch of asses throughout the entire film. They meet up with an old associate of Sully's, Chloe, played by Sophia Ali, and a competitor of his, Tati Gabriel, plays Bradrock, who's working for Antonio Banderas' character, Santiago Moncada. And, like, every last one of them are asses. Like, they're not likable people to a level. Particularly, like, I can't really talk much about that. I'll get to the villains, and that's another problem I have in a little bit. But, like, not Sophia, that's the name of the actress. Chloe, for example, you do like her, but you don't, at the same time, you're like, she's just as, like, conniving as Sully is. So when she kind of gets a little bit of a comeuppance, and she just like kind of looks at him and goes, it says bastards. Like, when you watch how the events played out, it's like, I'm sorry. Who's the one who did what they did? Like, you totally deserved it. Like, don't be like going against them. I get what they want to do. They wanted a young actor to play Nathan, and Tom is honestly good. He needs a better script, but he's good in the film. But they needed a young actor to play Nathan, and so they can franchise this, assuming the film does well, which we need to see what it's going to do for this weekend, President's Day weekend. Surprisingly, it's not made on a huge budget by Hollywood standards. 120 is big, but compared to a lot of other films, it's actually chump change. So, and if you factor in that this is probably got anywhere from like a $50 to $80 million budget, that'd be my guess. Let's just round up to 200. The film's probably got to hit about 300 million to break even. Now, if they can do that, we might have a winner. It's getting a Chinese release, which is good, so that's gonna help it out internationally. We'll see what the. Sorry, I've got just pillows on my back here, and they're just kind of going everywhere. We'll see what the international looks like, and I'm just that. What the international is going to look like, and then the domestic later this weekend. That'll give us a good idea where this film could end up. If it can hit above 100 million worldwide by this weekend, which has already got 21 million down, then I think there's hope for the film. I think there is hope, but yeah, like I say, I understand they wanted to go younger so they could maybe do more like with a franchise with them. But I'll be honest, I think that's part of the problem. Tom is great for what he's doing. He's doing his best, but he's too baby-faced. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I could maybe buy him as a young Nate, but you're telling me this kid, I mean, Tom's 25, but this kid who looks like he's 17 still, 18, like not even in his 20s yet, you're telling me this kid is supposed to age into like the guy who kind of looks like Nathan Fillion a little bit. I believe there's a cameo from the actual voice actor in the movie too, who voiced him. I think that's what that scene was about that I remember. But you're telling me that's supposed to age into the Nathan Drake we basically get into the games? I'm sorry, I don't buy that. I don't know what Tom Holland's going to look like in, say, 10 years. But and he's definitely going to age. We all age. But I think he's one of those guys who's kind of blessed with a bit of a youthful face. So I think he's unfortunately going to be cursed with that at the same time. Which makes it very difficult to believe him as Nathan going forward. And that lends itself to the problem I have with Sully, that I don't think Mark Wahlberg, at least with the script he gave, is the right choice, because Mark Wahlberg has, every actor has their quirks and their isms. Mark Wahlberg has one of those ways of expressing himself that can be either charming or, because he's a Boston guy, Massachusetts man, he's a asshole. But because of that, he can come off as he can come off like a douchebag, or he can come off as very charming. And with the script he's given, he comes off like a complete ass, very unlikable at points too. And if you had maybe gone, 5 years older on some actor in their early 30s, which would still have been relatively easy to do like the physicality stuff for, and maybe gone about 5 years older for Mark Sully, so someone going closer to like, say, their 40s or 50s, late 40s, early 50s, then you might have been able to work with something. Then you maybe would have had something that could have worked a little bit more effectively. You could have still started it out that way. Maybe Nate's only just getting involved in like treasure hunting and stuff like that. But I don't know. I felt like that dynamic didn't really gel well. Which is not to say that other things in the film didn't gel. The action sequences, say for a few choppy bits on the boats, like the whole sequence of the flying pirate ship, that was awesome. I mean, ultimately, that was a lot of fun. My girlfriend and I were just like, oh, we were like a couple like death scenes, like, oh, ah, we were like, ooh, damn. It was a lot of fun, actually. Like the climax of the film really is a lot of fun. And I'll be honest, I actually don't get me wrong, the convenience level of a lot of things. I was watching a review for it earlier today, and they do make a good point. It felt very convenient where some things were located. Like, I get it, it's kind of like a game, but one of them is a freaking Papa John's of all places. Like, they didn't do anything at all. I don't. but it's still, I like the treasure hunting aspect is fun. The scene, like the whole getting the cross scene, where you get introduced to Antonio Banderas and Badrock, Braddock, sorry, the played by Tati Gabrielle. Like that's a great scene. Like there's great scenes in the movie, but I heard it's put best, and it really does stand out. This feels like a compilation of really good scenes, and I mean like scenes that can last like 10-15 minutes, but it doesn't gel as a competent movie really. So yeah, that does hinder it. I mean, it looked nice. It overall looked good. The action sequences look good. There were some jokes that definitely worked. The stay for the mid credit scene. I do think you will. No, I don't think you'll be disappointed or like. I don't think it'll be necessarily like blowing your mind. But there is a post credit scene, so if you want to at least wait for the it's a mid credit scene. I at least want to wait for that. But before I go, I do need to talk about the villains, because this was I don't want to get into too much spoilers, but so basically we have Antonio Banderas, who plays Santiago Moncada. Antonio Banderas, who is, how old is Antonio at the moment? He is born 1960. So wow, he's only in his early 60s. Good for 60s, man. He's Antonio. It's that voice, He's sick. I could literally read the phone book and women would orgasm. Like, he probably could. That man just got sex appeal oozing, and he's made out to be like our main villain. And he has his henchwoman, Tati, Braddock, played by Tati Gabrielle. And I do like both of them in the roles that they play. And Antonio's very menacing, the way he holds himself, all that. And she's makes for a very good like henchwoman. For what it is, she's got a lot of charisma. She's gorgeous. Like when we first meet her, she's in a dress and she's got his hair. I'm like, and she's like kind of flirting with Tom Holland a little bit, just going like, "Hi," and they go, and like, it's like, "You turn the other way, kid." I'm like, "Do I have to?" I mean, oh damn it! It's like, yeah, I know, but he says she's bad news. But there's a point in the film where, and how can I say this without giving away any spoilers? Things come to light, and the reveals happen, and I'm watching this like, really? We're doing this? Because this makes everything that we've just been leading up to, we've been dealing with with a lot. So let me rephrase that sentence and try to get the grammar correct. This makes everything that has been going on up until now seem a little pointless. And we're stuck in the last third with a remainder of that I'm just not buying at that point. Like, that's the one point of the film, where, even in the climax, which is a lot of fun, where I'm like, why am I supposed to find this, like, either intimidating or compelling or anything like that? And again, it has to do with the villains, and again, I really kind of want to say what it is. But it is a spoiler for it. Like, it is a legit spoiler in the movie, so I'm not going to say exactly what it is. I'm trying to be as vague as possible. All I'm going to say was, when it comes to the villains, start strong, end weak. I think that's the best way I can put it. They start strong and they end weak. And I think that's the way I'm going to leave it at that. But overall, I still actually had a really good time with the movie. It was a lot of fun. It's got problems, but if this movie does well enough to get a sequel, which I hope it does, they set it up for one. Then yeah, I'll be down for a sequel. Absolutely, I'd be down for a sequel. I mean, I hope they get a better script writer. Definitely, they need a better screenplay, a better script writer. Hopefully, these characters will kind of. These actors could grow into the characters. I mean, Tom Holland's got plenty of time. He's young. Like, Tom Holland is... How old is Tom Holland? I think he's like, what, 25, 26, 27, something like that, mid-20s. He is born 96, June 1st. So that would put him at 25. He'll be 26 this year. Yeah, he's Oh God, yeah, he's got more than enough time. Like seriously, holy crap, the kid's got. Yeah, I mean, I say kid, he's only like 7 years younger than I am, but yeah, I look at 20-year-olds now and or mid 20 years, I'm like, yeah, kid, just that's adorable. Because most of the 20 something year olds I interact with, actually that's not fair. Most of the 20 something year olds I act with or interact with are like coworkers, and most of them are the right amount of maturity for their age. I'm talking about those. I'm talking about the 20 some odds. You know what I'm talking about. Where I'm like, oh, that's adorable. You're a child. And for anyone asks, I'm 32. So yeah. Um, I actually sometimes have to remind myself, I'm not only in my 30s, I'm 32. Man. Anyway, I digress. So my thoughts, I liked it. I had a good time, man. If you're looking for the game, you're not going to get a lot of that in here. You get aspects, but you're not going to get a lot. If you're looking for a fun adventure treasure hunt movie, this actually might be up your alley. So that's my thoughts on that. Till then, though, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review at some point. Hit that bell if you want to be notified. I'll see you next time. I got to pre-record the new What If. So thanks for watching. I'll see you later.